All right, so today we're going to be reviewing a little bit more on um, ratios, rates, and percents. Okay, and with that, we're going to talk about tax, discount, tip, um, kind of things like that. Okay, so to start us off, let's just kind of define each of those words: tax, tip, and discount. Okay, so tax is a percent extra that we pay, and it gets added on to anything that we buy, pretty much. Okay, so any item that we buy, for the most part, or not just items, but any goods. Let's change that to goods. Any goods. Okay. So if you go to eat at McDonald's and your meal is $10, they're going to charge you a percent of that for tax. Okay. And that tax goes to the government to help us pay for roads, to help us pay for schools, so on and so forth. Okay. The amount of tax changes depending on what you're buying, but for the most part, it's around 8% for like going to the store and buying things, depending on the city that you're in. You get a different percentage for like your house, like your parents pay a little bit of tax on their house. It's called property tax. We don't need to get into all that right now, but long story short, you get tax added to the things that you purchase, okay? All right, next we have tip. Tip is kind of similar to that, but you don't pay a tip for everything. You pay a tip for, you guessed it, going out to eat, right? You go out to eat and you tip your server, right? If your server does a great job and they fill up your drinks on time, they bring your, bread refills or whatever, okay? They keep you stocked on all those things. You're going to tip them well, okay? So a tip gets added on to a total, okay? And a good tip is somewhere around 18% is like kind of where we're at nowadays. But pretty much anywhere from 15 to 20% is an average tip, okay? So if your server was really good, maybe you tip them 25%, okay? Just kind of depends. And you can choose that amount that you add on to your total bill, okay? Now, a discount, okay? This is savings, okay? This is money that you save. So savings, and it can either be an actual money amount, like $5 off, okay? That's a discount. Or a percent, it could be 10% off. So savings of either money or a percent off of the total. Okay. So let's get into this a little bit. So let's look at tax for a minute. All right. So if we are to, let's say we're purchasing a shirt. Okay. So this is our shirt. You go up to the counter and you're going to buy a $20 shirt. Okay. Well, when you get rung up, you don't pay just $20. You get charged tax, right? You get tax on any goods. Okay. So where do you think the tax is going to get added on to with this? Like if this is the total amount of our shirt, okay? The tax is going to get added on to the end, Okay, this is going to be our tax. All right. We have to pay for the shirt and we have to pay for the tax. So this big line here of what all we're total paying, now it's actually that, okay? It's all of it. You have to pay for the shirt and the tax, okay? And like I was saying before, tax is usually somewhere between, somewhere around 8%. Somewhere around there, okay? All right, so for tip, it's kind of similar, right? So you go out to eat, here's your meal, the total meal for your whole family, okay? Or whoever's paying individually or whatever, all right? The tip is going to, just like tax, it gets added on at the end, okay? And this is going to be, whatever. Let's say it's a really good server and you're going to tip them 25%, okay? Well, if this is our 0%, okay, this is if we didn't pay for anything. This is the whole meal, 100%. That means we're actually going to be paying 125% of the meal, right? We're paying 25% extra of the meal, okay? All right, and then last one, discount. Discount's going to look a little different, okay? So let's say we have, let's go back to the shirt, okay? We're purchasing a shirt, and they tell us that we have or there's a coupon for 10% off. 10% off of the shirt purchase, okay? Well, if this is the total here, okay? This shirt bar is how much, let's see if I can point to it here. Okay, this bar here, this is how much the shirt costs if we go up to the register and say, I want the shirt. They'll charge you this much. But I also have this 10% coupon, okay? 10% off. Well, how would we represent that? Instead of adding it on at the end, we're kind of cutting it off, right? We're going to cut this portion off, and then we only have to pay this much, okay? So now we're only paying 90 total percent of the shirt. So instead of paying 100% of the shirt, we're only going to pay 90% of it, okay? So this is kind of a little background. Now we can get into a couple questions, all right? So go ahead and write down. Well, you don't have to write down the question, but write down what I want you to do. I'm going to write the question. I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to write it, and I want you guys to draw out the bar. Okay, so draw me your bar, and then I want you to either add on the tip, or add on the tax, or take off the discount, depending on what the question asks. Okay, so here's our first question. Sally goes out to eat, okay, and her bill, Sally's bill at dinner was $42.60, okay, including tax. Okay, so if she didn't want to leave a tip at all, she could walk out just paying $42.60. But she had a good server. So she is going to leave. She leaves a 20% tip. How much will Sally pay in total? All right, let me shrink this a little bit. So we're gonna draw a bar for the total and then the tip, okay? And then we're gonna solve it to try and figure it out, okay? So I'll give you guys a minute or so to kind of draw what you think we're gonna have here, and then I'll go through it with you. Remember, you're gonna have a bar for the bill itself, okay? And then we're gonna have to either add on or subtract some money. Okay, remember this is a tip, so this is probably something that we're paying extra, right? All right. So if we have a bar here, and this was our total bill, okay? This was our bill, and it was, let's shrink this a little bit, actually. Let's call it, the bill was $42.60, all right? And we said she's gonna pay a 20% tip because her server was pretty good, kept them all refilled on drinks. We're gonna add this on to the end, okay? And this is our tip, and we're giving 20%. All right, so remember back to when we've converted between decimals, percents, and fractions, okay? In order to solve this problem, we need to multiply the total times the percent. But we can't just multiply times the percent. If we did 42 times 20, we'd be paying tons, right? We'd be paying like over $800. That's not right, okay? 20% is just a little bit of the bill, right? It's 1/5 of the total bill. It'd be like taking this little portion here and adding that much extra at the end, okay? That's not, this little part right here is not $800, okay? So we can't just multiply 42 times 20. So what are we gonna do here? We need to convert the 20% into a decimal first, okay? Well, where's our decimal hanging out on this guy? He's still there, he's just kind of hiding right now, but he's right here, okay? We need to move that guy 2 places in some direction, okay? The way I like to remember is if we're getting rid of the percent sign, we need to go away from it. We're running away from this percent sign, okay? So let's run away 2 times away from the percent sign. And now that percent sign is going to drop off, and we are left with 0.20, okay? And we can drop that 0 off, and we can just have 0.2, right? These are just placeholders. So now we can multiply our $42.60 times 0.2. Remember, with multiplying decimals, we don't need to line the decimals up. We line the numbers up just like normal, and then we'll count the decimals at the end. So 2 times 0, 2 times 6 is 12. Carry the 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. And 2 times 4 is 8. Okay. Well, how many numbers do we have behind decimals? We have 1, 2, 3. So we need to move our decimal 1, 2, 3 times. So the amount of tip that we are going to add on to our bill is $8.52. Are we done? No, because the question asks, how much will Sally pay in total? So we got to add that back together. Well, if the bill was originally $42.60 and we're going to pay $8.52 of tip, excuse me. Well, now we need to add that in. With adding decimals, we need to line up the decimals. 0 plus 2 is 2. 6 plus 5 is 11. 8 plus 2 plus 1 is 11. There's our decimal. And 4 plus 1 is 5. So the total bill is $51.12. All right, let's do one more real quick. And we will do a discount, okay? So the new iPad just came out a little bit ago. So the older ones are probably going to be on discount, right? So let's say the older iPad is an old iPad is $120 and it's on sale at 25% off. What will the iPad cost after the discount? So remember, it's not asking for how much is the discount, it's asking for how much it will cost after the discount. Okay, so let's draw our bar. This is our iPad, and it is $120. Okay, and we have a 25% coupon. So we are going to be taking off 25% of the total. So we only have to pay this much. All right. 25% off. Well, how are we going to do that? Well, first we need to figure out how much off that is. We're going to do that the same way that we did last time. We're going to multiply our number by our 25%. But what do we have to do to it first? Convert it to a decimal. So we're going to move away from it 2 times. So we're going to have 0.25. And when we do 120 times 0.25, we get 0, 10, 5 plus 1 is 6, 0. We need to do 2 times 0, 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 1 is 2. And we add this all up, and we get 0, 0, 10, and we have 2 numbers behind the decimal right here, 1, 2. So we need to move our decimal over 2 times. So we have a $30 discount. That's pretty good. Discount. But are we done? No, because we want to know the total after discount. So we started with 120. We're going to take away 30, and we're left with $90. So we are only going to have to pay $90 for this iPad. All right, I hope this makes sense. Tax, tip, discount, okay? Remember, tax and tip are similar. They get added on at the end. Discount gets subtracted at the end. But the way that you find the percent is the same. You got to multiply it times the decimal, and then you need to decide whether you're going to add it on or take it off. Okay? All right. Good luck, guys.